What does education mean to you?
To me, education means opportunity, the chance to learn about new things, to try new things, to go in new directions that you never expected.
Education means finding something you're passionate about and having an opportunity to polish your skills and enjoy doing it for the rest of your life.
The process by which we figure out who we can and should be.
Education is a universal right, where inclusivity and equity take center stage. ProEd was born of the belief that high-quality educational expertise can transform a society for the better. We believe that education is for everyone, not only for the privileged. With these noble objectives, ProEd is dedicated to offering a range of exceptional products that cater to the diverse needs of our clients and meaningful nonprofit initiatives for the community. Our comprehensive services include curriculum development, teacher training and professional development, and educational operations. We offer innovative products such as SCOS, which is a student-centered observation scheme that maximizes classroom performance with an integrated competency framework for teaching. Additionally, we provide EduFlex, an intelligent AI-supported platform designed to optimize school operations and enhance every aspect of the institution. In 2023 and 2024, ProEd CSR activities offer frequent free-of-charge opportunities for all people to access the latest and most practical educational expertise to promote education equity and a culture of learning in society. The EduVerse PD platform, a freely accessible source of valuable professional development resources for educators worldwide, including EduVerse webinars, newsletters, podcasts, and the EduVerse Facebook group. We've built a global community of over 6,000 educators and followers from more than 200 nations, with growing interest and engagement every day. With the aim of expanding professional development opportunities, the first ELT camp in 2023 achieved a milestone by offering free opportunities for educators in Vietnam's Mekong Delta. We attracted an impressive turnout of over 300 participants with overwhelmingly positive feedback. Not only that, the ELT Camp 2024 returned last November in Ho Chi Minh City with the theme Future Ready Learners, bringing together teachers from across southern Vietnam to connect, share challenges, and shape future-ready students. Our global partnership with over 30 influential educational organizations, well known for their status as global leaders in the field, have greatly contributed to our success in 2023 and 2024. Our first-year journey so far was reaching new heights at the Asia Education Awards ceremony in Bangkok, Thailand, at the end of 2023. ProEd was honored to receive 2 prestigious awards, including Excellence in Educational Consultancy and Innovation in Education for SCOS, a notable product. ProEd Education Solutions, your partner in shaping the future of education.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this enlightening webinar. Can you all hear me well? If yes, can you just give me a heart, a like? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us in this webinar on a Saturday night. Which is usually we will have it on Friday night, but now you're here with us on a Saturday night, proving that the topic should be something that very much interesting to you. So the enlightening webinar is about sign here, please. Teams taking control of classroom, Gemini, and AI. And as usual, I'm Han Nguyen, your host, and I'm thrilled to have you all here today. Now, before we dive into our main topic, please let me introduce our esteemed presenter, Mr. Robert Martínez from the beautiful country, Spain. Robert brings 31 years of ELT experience and expertise in language assessment, technology, and teaching development. He is a CELTA tutor and assessor, IHWO and e-course inspector and board trustee, TESOL Spain AC member, and EduVerse ambassador. He also supports teachers through his YouTube channel, Learning Together with Robert. I believe that some of you should subscribe his channel for now. Now, a word about EduVerse. Okay, some of you have already known about us as well. The driving force behind today's webinar, powered by ProEd Education Solutions, EduVerse PD Network is a platform for global educators to share and get shared all about education. EduVerse is committed to providing educators with invaluable learning opportunities and resources, from monthly newsletters on cutting-edge educational trends to live webinars every 2 months. We're dedicated to your professional growth, all free of charge. Now, are you ready to transform classroom behavior and giving teens a real voice? In this high-impact section with Robert Martínez, we'll focus on how empathy-driven classroom contracts enhanced by AI can create calmer, more collaborative learning spaces. After the webinar, please take a moment to complete a short survey to help us serve you better. After that, you will receive an email with instructions to download your certificates within 1 day. Now, without further ado, let's immerse ourselves in this enlightening webinar. Feel free to ask questions and absorb all you can from this session. Thank you. And Robert, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much and welcome everyone. Let me just share my screen so that we can get started. Okay, here we go. Oh, apologies, just 1 sec. Here we go. That's the one. Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you so much. I'm really excited about so many of you being here today. Thank you so much for your time. As Han said, I'm Robert Martínez. I really like my webinars to be really as active as possible because I'm hyper. I have a little bit of ADHD, and so for me, it's very difficult to stay just listening to someone talk. So please stretch your fingers because I want you to be typing and participating in the chat box to make sure that we all learn from one another, okay? So if you are ready to participate and use the chat box a lot, I want you to type the name of your favorite fruit in the chat box. And if you don't want to participate, write the name of an animal in the chat box. Let's see. We have, thank you, Charlene. There's a lot of people. I would love to be able to read all your names to acknowledge your participation, but the thing is that it's just too fast. So I'm just gonna mention the few names that I can see. I can see mostly fruit: Nicole, Mark, Songul, Sebonizo, Vohung, Isra, Vivian, Emilio, Ramal. Thank you so much. That's great to see that you are all ready to participate. So this session is called Sign Here, Please. Teens taking control of classroom harmony in AI. I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher educator. I'm still in the classroom. I love being in the classroom. And so this session comes from my own experience in the classroom. So our agenda for today, we're going to look at the room temperature, quick warmer. I'm going to share my learning outcome with you, what I want to do and achieve in this session. Then we're going to look at my top 5 ingredients for classroom management. We're going to look at contract types 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, and my classroom management whisperer, which is a GPT I created to support my own peers and teachers that work with me. And I'll tell you what they've said so far. Then we'll have a Q&A, so lots of things to do. Room temperature. So how are you feeling about this session in the chat box? 1 or 2 adjectives. 1 or 2 adjectives. Let's see in the chat box. How are you feeling about this session? Good, excited, positive. Anastasia, Violeta. Oh, hi, Violeta. Thank you for being here. Ryla, Edilia, Jamilan, Sebonizo. Hi, thank you. So many people that I know. Oh, thank you so much for being here. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Maria Alejandra, Mark, thank you, Mark. Jasmine, Ophelia, hey, Ophelia, thank you. Yasmin, Han, Rish, Mohammed, sorry, Alla Litvitenko, hey. Lots of people that I know. Thank you so much for being here. Carmel, Dr. Mohammed, thank you for being here. Some of the names they're going so fast. I can't read them, but I really appreciate that you're here. Dr. July, thank you. And Isra, fantastic. And also one thing you want to learn in this session, very short in maybe 2 or 3. Okay, thank you, Ramal. Thank you, Vu Hong. One thing you want to learn in this session, what would it be? Just a brief sentence in the chat box so that we can all see how everyone else is feeling and what they would like to take away. Okay, Natalia, new methods. Hello, Salman. Learning and enhancement knowledge. Something new. Good. Afet, Sharifa. Good. Roxanne. Thank you. That's great. Yes, there will be something like that. New tools, additional learning. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Oh, my goodness, can't read fast. Something new, some ideas, how warm-up activities. Great. Ethical use of AI, so important, Salman. Sebonizo, Mohammed, fantastic. Thank you so much. Great participation. That's fantastic. Now, the warmer. What are the main behavior issues in your classroom? Can you write in the chat box? What are things? Noise levels, misbehavior, I don't know, students talking back, what? Let's see, what are the main behavior issues in your classroom? Misbehavior, okay, different types of misbehavior, noise, yes. Short attention span, attention, oh, disrespectful, yes. Distractions, attention span, that's common. Okay, hyper, I'm hyper, so I can really see students as well, can see myself in the students. Disruptions, noise, attention, thank you, Ophelia. Sharifa, okay, good, that's nice. Rukshona, thank you. If I mispronounce your names, please forgive me. I just really want to make sure that I acknowledge as many people as possible. Kyla, attitude, absolutely, yes. Emilio, okay, good, yes. Motivation, interest, fantastic, thank you so much. What about this one? Share one way of dealing with them that's worked for you. For example, talking to them individually, not reacting immediately, smiling, giving a cool-off corner. That's something I use in my classroom. Okay, communication, that's great. Reminding them, Miss Linda, thank you. Encouragement, absolutely. That's Sharifa, that's super important. Great. Giving a break, super important. Roberto, that's great. Low self-esteem, Erica, motivation. They like playing games, absolutely. Marks, Roxanne, routine, so important. Okay, happy greeting, absolutely, yes. Low confidence, praising, being calm. Charlene, Jennifer, Mark, Mohammed, Ramal, thank you so much. I'm going to move on because we have to covered tons, and we have a little less than an hour. I'm going to share with you my learning outcomes for this session. By the end of this session, we'll have seen 5 different types of classroom contracts that can be used to give teenagers agency in the design of their own classroom rules. These contracts are based on my top 5 ingredients for classroom management. And you will have used my classroom management, my classroom whisperer GPT. I'll share it in the chat box as well. And sorry, yes, that's right, just those 2. Now, to get started, my top 5 ingredients for classroom management. There are 9. Which ones do you think are my top 5? You can write the numbers in the chat box. So I'm going to give you a few seconds, 30 seconds to think about. We have empathy, awareness of changing brain, classroom rules, power of relationships, firm grip of class, learning and teaching knowledge, being friendly with students, informed decisions in lesson planning, parents' meetings. Okay, I can see good. People sharing their numbers. Bahbiz wrote 1, 2, and 8. Maria 3, 1, and 4. 1 and 7, 1, 3, 6, and 7. Great. Gemaline, thank you. Royd. Fantastic. You guys are on fire. Thank you so much for your participation. Okay, I'm going to show you most of them. Okay, I'm going to show you the ones that are my top 5, and then we're going to look at them very quickly before we look at contracts. My top 5 are empathy, awareness of the changing brain, power of relationships, learning and teaching knowledge, and informed decisions in lesson planning. So the first one is empathy. And is really, for me, is really, really important, because empathy is, for me, is listening actively, not just correctively. So value the message before the mistake. I think that very often, and I'm guilty of that, in the past, I used to react immediately. And with teens, especially, confrontation is never a good option. And I learned through trial and error, so I've become more empathetic. I listen more actively, not just correctively. I acknowledge them, right? Acknowledge them, use quick surveys or discussions to show that I want to hear their voices and that their voices matter. Model empathy through language, so sharing my own learning struggles so that they see that I'm also human. And in my experience, this has really helped, especially with those difficult teenagers. Notice the unspoken signals as well, super important. So paying attention to body language and quiet students, and also designing empathy into the activity. So creating role plays, debates, and walk in their shoes tasks, and also using visible thinking, asking about their feelings and asking about how I feel, for example, when someone is rude or someone talks back. So I usually ask them to stop everything and then talk about our feelings. And they realize that, I realize that very often is because their brain is changing, which is the next part, that they're not necessarily being rude for the sake of being rude, but because they cannot control that their emotions yet, because it is part of their brain development, right? So awareness, I think this awareness of changing brain is super important for us, because it normalizes forgetfulness. They are, it was very interesting to know that the human brain doesn't fully develop until about 22 years of age. So they are in that process of being forgetful. Sometimes they may be acting out, but it is normal for them to be forgetful. So when someone says, oh, I forgot the homework because I had to do this, that, and the other, and I said, okay, fine. I understand that we all have problems that you forgot. Can you show me your homework plus the homework from this lesson next time? And then I make a note, so I follow up on that. So they know that I'm not being a pain and that I'm trying to understand them. There's present classroom rules to the class. Absolutely, very good, Marks. I involve students, and that's what we're going to see. This session is about giving agency and getting the students to become part of those classroom contracts. Thank you, Marks, for your comment. I channel the need for risk taking, so providing safe challenges like debates or quick fire tasks where they can actually work in shared in close pairs or small groups so that they don't have to do it in front of the whole class, because we know that they don't want to, or that they don't feel like they have to because they often feel judged by their peers. Allow movement and energy release through different tasks, and also frame feedback with a growth mindset. So I'm constantly saying, when checking homework or correcting exercises or giving feedback, so how many mistakes did you get? Is that good or bad? Why? I want them to understand that mistakes are part of learning, that it is okay as long as we're able to understand why those mistakes were made, so that we learn through the process, right? Leverage peer influence positively. So I try and use group tasks and peer teaching, understanding how their brain is changing, and that may be the reason why they are acting in those ways. Now, the power of relationships, super important. I don't know if you know this woman. She passed away in 2013, I think. Rita Pearson. Every time I watch her TED Talk, I just get goosebumps, because she talks about the power of relationships. And for me, 31 years in the classroom, what has changed my approach with teaching teenagers and teaching in general is those relationships with them. They're challenging, absolutely. Are we going to have the students that are the most challenging? They're never absent. They're in the classroom, and it's like, oh my God, I really need to get through this. But I think that if we look at empathy, we're aware of their brain and how it is changing, and the power of relationships, then we're going to be able to find joy in the classroom, even when times are challenging. So building rapport beyond the lesson, really showing interest, getting to know them. For example, I make notes of things they say about their dog, their family, or something that happened, and then I ask them a following lesson, and they're sometimes surprised to see, like, he was listening. Show consistency and fairness is very important. Use collaborative learning structures, so that, for example, you do jigsaw reading, peer editing, information gaps, where they're supporting one another, and where I'm more focused on the process rather than on the product. And model respectful communication. So this is super important. Listen actively, apologize when needed, stop things when they need to be stopped, and say, okay, wait, that was not okay. Let's talk about this in a nice way. And also celebrate achievements together. Very, very important to build their confidence. In terms of learning and knowledge, then designing lessons with clear routines. Someone mentioned in the chat box clear routines. They are super important. Balance the challenge and support, so keeping students in their learning zone. Using varied input and output, mixing skills, interaction patterns, and activities. Also integrating formative assessment. I do it all the time. I really think that this is important to catch confusion early, and have everyone give everyone a possibility to learn at the right time. And also connect classroom rules to learning goals and why we're learning this. I've realized that if I tell them why we're learning something, they're more likely to see the benefit of it, because they won't be able to see it. Also, the last one, so informed decisions in lesson planning. Very important for me for them to know the learning outcomes. I always share the learning outcomes with them, and try to anticipate challenges, plan scaffolding for tricky points. We know our students ourselves. We know them better than anyone else. So we can put that into the building of the lesson plan. Balance teacher and student talking time, super important, making sure that they're the ones doing most of the work. And embedding classroom routines. Again, I think it was Karen that mentioned in the webinar chat, the routines. If we don't have routines and we don't have something that happens exactly at the same time every lesson, is going to be a little bit difficult, because they will see us as inconsistent. So classroom routines are super important. And then adapting plans based on evidence. Now, let's go for the roadmap. We have 5 different contracts. Contract type 1 is the 3 R's. Contract 2, the personal pledge. Then mutual goals, number 3. Positive and negative behavior, number 4. And number 5, reflect and review. Because I'm aware of the time, I would like you to choose which one would you like to go that we'll explore first. I think we're going to be able to explore at least 3 in the time given. Don't worry, because I prepare a very detailed handbook with links and resources and everything for you to get towards the end of the webinar, okay? I'll share the link, so don't worry about that. In the chat box, excellent, people are already doing it. Number 4, it seems like 4 is very popular. 1, 3, 5, 4. 4 seems to be the one, positive and negative behavior. Okay, we're going to start with number 4 then, and then we'll do it again. We'll revisit and go through the others. 4, 5, 1, and 4. I think 4 is definitely going to be first. So let me go to number 4. This one is called positive and negative behavior. And we have icons. I use lots of icons all the time because they make people think. I use them with the students as well because you're probably aware of Harvard University's Project Zero thinking routines. And I like to make thinking visible. And to make thinking visible, they have to speak and think out loud. So I use icons like these all the time. So the first one is positive and negative behavior. So we have, in the first one, we have basically feelings group discussion. So 3 stages. The first stage is 5 minutes to talk about feelings in groups. Okay, so I usually ask students to think about how certain behaviors, positive or negative, I don't tell them positive or negative initially because I don't want to lead them, impact their experience in class. And so I want them to think about that. And I say, how do you feel when someone interrupts? Or what helps you feel respected? Then they have to just think about it. I know that this section is going to take 5 minutes. And I want them to think about that. Very often we don't give wait time to the students. We ask a question and we want an immediate answer. Research shows that wait time is very useful. So I just give them 30 seconds, a minute. Just think, don't talk to anyone. Think about this. How do you feel when someone interrupts you? Or what helps you feel respected? Then they need to record their ideas briefly. They talk about their ideas briefly, another 30 seconds, 1 minute in their group to bounce ideas off each other. And then I record their ideas on the board, right? To make sure that I'm trying to capture all the different ideas on the board. And I know that if there's something repetitive, then I can be the moderator of that and have it on the board, okay? Then ideas about positive and negative behavior. Then we go to the next stage, which is about 10 minutes. And it is a collaborative contract creation. This is the important part. I break students into small groups and ask each group to come up with 2 or 3 positive behaviors they think will enhance the classroom atmosphere and 1 or 2 negative behaviors they think should be minimized. Just something that I should have mentioned before, I always do this, especially at the beginning of the school year, but I don't think it's never too late to introduce a classroom contract. I usually spend the first 2 or 3 weeks going through this with them, establishing the foundations, recycling. Maybe one lesson is going to take between 20, 30 minutes, especially at the beginning of the school year, to draft the contract. We're going to look at the next stage, writing it down, taking pictures, everyone signing it. And then every lesson after that, 5 minutes, making it a routine. What is our contract? What did we agree on? What is it that we can do until it becomes second nature, and then they know every lesson what we are supposed to do. In my experience, it does work, especially if we are consistent with those routines. So that's the second stage, about 10 minutes. I'm monitoring around, I'm walking around. I want them to do most of the work, because if we give them agency, that gives them a sense of ownership. And that means they're going to be more likely to abide by the rules. And if they don't, we can say, it's your rule, we all agreed, what's happening? Rather than, there is not going to be a top-down rule that I imposed on them, because we know that that usually doesn't work. Who likes being told what to do. It's easier if we have a say, we agree, and then they're more likely to do it. Then the final 5 minutes is a signing and commitment ceremony. So read through the finalized contract on the whiteboard. I usually divide it into 2 sections, my positives and negatives, and then my final draft for the contracts. And then we take a picture. Everyone, I want all the students to take a picture. And we use an LMS, a learning management system, where I upload that picture of the contract with their signatures on the board. They come to the board, they write their names, and I take a picture so that they can see it. And I can use it when I speak to parents as well. When I speak to parents, they are usually very positive. I get their support as well. And it's something that really usually helps. I'm not going to say my classrooms are wonderful and it's paradise teaching. They're not. I also have challenging students, but I've realized, especially in the last 10, 15 years, by doing these different types of contracts, being more empathetic, that I have more mental health because we also burn out and we get stressed. So I'm definitely a lot better. And I think that my classrooms are definitely a lot better. They could always be better. There's always room for improvement. You have a signing ceremony, read through the finalized contracts with the class, explain that signing it represents their commitment to these shared expectations, and have each student, as I said, sign on the board and then take a picture so that everyone is on board, okay? So that's positive and negative behavior. That's the contract, about 20 to 25, 30 minutes. Very important follow-up strategies is to have behavior reflection circles. So every week or every 2 weeks, it depends on you. If you see that students are getting rough and rowdy again, then it's probably a good time to go back and reflect on the contract. So every so often, whenever you see necessary, have a reflection circle, 5 or 10 minutes of that class. This is useful because they're doing it in English. It's helping us with the classroom atmosphere. We're getting everyone back to scratch, understanding and reminding them their contract, okay? And also have contract reminders. So before certain activities at the start of each week or a lesson, quickly review 1 or 2 points from the contract as a gentle reminder. So for example, can you remind me of our top 3 rules for classroom management? What is that we can do? We cannot do, tell your partner, 30 seconds, check, move on. So it doesn't take a lot of time, because sometimes people say, yeah, but I don't have the time to do that. 5 minutes or 10 minutes, they're speaking in English. It is time well spent. So that's that. Contract type number 4. What about a number? Which other? 1, 2, 3, or 5? Okay, Bavis, 5, 1. Let's see which one is more popular. 1, 1. Okay, it seems like it's going to be, oh, maybe not. Yes, it seems like 1 is going to be the one. So let's go back to our, let me go back. Sorry, that's the Classroom Whisperer. And here, where is it? Sorry. There we go. Sorry. Oops. Let me go to that's number 5. Here we go. We're going to go through the 3 R's. There we go. That's a roadmap that if you click on the right place, there we go. Very quickly, the 3 R's. What do you think are the 3 R's in the chat box? Very quickly. What do you think are the 3 R's? Any ideas? I'll help you with the first one, is rights. Rights, to have a right. They have the right to, you have the right to. So rights is the first one. What do you think are the other 2 R's? Rights. Okay, good. Respect, reinforcement. Roxanne, Bavis, Aldemar, Allah, Yasmin, Yasarat, Anastasia, Afet, Jamot, Marvin. Thank you. Wow, that's excellent. Thank you. So rights, responsibilities, and routines. So again, this is going to take between 20 and 25 minutes of a lesson, especially at the beginning of the school year, but not only. The first one is brainstorm. Have a group brainstorm. Start with 3 columns on the whiteboard. So we have rights, responsibilities, and routines on the whiteboard. And you ask the students to think of examples for each. and then you give them a few minutes, right, to speak without interruption, for example, or routine of starting with a warm-up every lesson. And then you have them doing lots of different brainstorming there. That's about 5 minutes. You monitor throughout the activity. Then we divide them and conquer. We divide them into groups, divide and conquer. And each group is going to tackle one of the 3 R's. One group is going to look at responsibilities. One group is going to look at rights. One group is going to look at routines. And they need to then list 2 or 3 points for each category. So 2 or 3 rights, 2 or 3 responsibilities, 2 or 3 routines. This is 10 minutes. So that's where they're doing all the talking. We are walking around facilitating. They may not have the language. We give it to them. That's not the point. The point is that we're making them aware of behavior through English, right? And then finally, 5 minutes, then we have each group share their points with the class, combining ideas into a final small list that I, as a teacher, can moderate on the board, and then come up with the final 3 R's that we're all going to agree, right? Thank you, Roxanne. Thank you so much. That way, everything is coming from them. I'm obviously, as a teachers, we know that we can direct a little bit. If they come up with something silly, they will come up with silly rules or silly rights or silly responsibilities. But we can always, moderate that. We are the ones in the end that are helping them decide which ones are the most important ones. Follow-up strategies, super important. Routine reminders. So start each class as before. If there's no routine, this is not going to work. I've seen it. I've seen some of some teachers that they spend 30 minutes doing this. Everything works fine. They do it for a couple of lessons and they completely forget. And then they complain, oh, it's not working. Okay, have you established a routine? Have you done the reflection circles? Have you had role rotation, for example, assigning a weekly responsibilities and rights and responsibilities monitor? I usually do that with the one that is a challenging student. I say, okay, you're going to be my monitor today. Okay, you're going to help me with this. You're going to help me keep everyone on track. And it does work. Obviously, there's empathy there. We're not imposing things. Sometimes this particular student may say, oh, I don't want to. It's like, oh, come on, please be my help today. And somebody else will be the next one. Okay, right. Han, can you tell me about time? Because I think I'm so excited that I lost track of time. How much time have we got left before we get to the Q&A?
Yeah, you have around 25 minutes.
Oh, I still have 25 minutes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That will leave 5 minutes left for Q&A. So you still have 25 minutes.
That's perfect. Can you please let me know in 20 minutes time?
Sure, I will.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you, Rina. Oh, that's great. Yes, a poster with rights, responsibilities, and obligations. That's fantastic. So that is the 3 R's. So everyone, let me go back to the main road, to the roadmap, and tell me which one would you like with cover number 1 and number 4. Which one would you like to cover now of the contracts? 3 to 5. Ooh, variety. 5, 3 to 5. Oh God, this is going to be difficult. 5. It seems like 5 is going to be the one following. 3 to 5, 5. Yes, it seems like 5 is going to be the next one. Reflect and review. So we're going to do that one. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Let's look at reflect and review. Before we move on, what is it? What's the key to any of these contracts? In the chat box, what's the key in any of these contracts? In the chat box, what is the key to enforcing, displaying, deploying any of these contracts in our classes? There's something we really need to make sure that is there. Otherwise, we're going to waste our time. We're going to get stressed. Marvin, okay. Evaluation. Anything else? Assessment, evaluation. Oh, I see what you guys mean. Yes, consistency. Assessment and evaluation in the sense that we need to see how it is working. And if it is not working, we need to go back to the routine. So routine, absolutely. Combined with, okay, they're getting really they probably had too much fizzy drinks before the class and they're like all over the place. Then we need to close everything, stop my lesson for a minute, go back to the routine. So what is our contract? What can we do? What can we not? Tell the students. So a routine, absolutely. We need to really establish that routine and be in regular checks, assessment of how things are going. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's look at exercise at number 5. Now, let's be a little bit more. This is something I usually do with students as well. What do you think these 4 icons represent? They are the 4 different stages of this contract type. What do you think is the first one? What do you think is the first one? In the chat box. Let's see. We know the contract is called reflect and review, but there are 4 stages. Writing down, good, okay. Writing, taking notes, writing down. Thank you so much. Great. Ms. Linda, Maria Elena. Fantastic. Thank you, Maria Elena. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Raihona, okay. Signing, Afed, Isra. Good. Jamot, Shakira. Oh, Shakira's here. Great. Create, Meltem, Maria. Fantastic. Yes. So the first one is the initial creation. We're looking at the first session. This one is going to take longer than the other ones. The other initial sessions were like 5 minutes. This one is 10 minutes because we start by guiding students in a quick brainstorm of key behaviors, with each contributing one do and one don't. One do and one don't for the classroom conduct, right? They know exactly what they can do and they cannot, they should and shouldn't do in class. So we're just making this visible. So that's 10 minutes. They work individually. They first think about it. We remember the importance of wait time. They write it down 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. And then we have them work in pairs to think, to see what behaviors the other person has, what do's and what don'ts. Really, really useful. Then what about this one? What does that second stage represent? What do you think? Any ideas in the chat box? Checking, planning, calendar, attendance, checklist, Emilia Jamot, Aldemar, Roxanne. Okay, checklist. Good. Yes. It's a bi-weekly revisit plan, or maybe not bi-weekly. Depends on how challenging your classes may be. So very important, just 5 minutes. This is important to tell them at the beginning when we first model and start using this type of contract. So bi-weekly, 5 minutes, explain that every other week, we're going to revise and update the contract based on class needs. So this is what I like about this contract. It's not fixed. Some other behaviors may start emerging, and then our initial ideas and agreed rules might not really help. So the flexibility here is important to tell them. So every other week or every week, we're gonna for 5 minutes, we're gonna review and update the contract based on class needs. This helps maintain relevance and flexibility. And also reminding them, it helps remind them of the rules anyways, right? What about number 3? What's my icon number 3? What do you think it represents in feedback? Okay, Isra. Okay, right and wrong, feedback, pros and cons, connection. Very good. You're almost there. Feedback, assessment. Oh, thank you, everyone. You're so good. Thank you so much. Correction, feedback. Yes. Reflect. This one is consequences. So consequences. Very important. 3 minutes to students, not me, not as the teachers. Students make a list of possible consequences when they don't adhere, when they don't follow up, when they don't stick to the rules we have agreed. And this one is super important because it is them. They're intelligent beings. We know that they can think. We know that they know what is right and wrong. The problem is that the brain is constantly changing, and they're not able physically. Research shows that their emotional control system is not as well developed, right, as their emotions. And that's why they would react very quickly, or they would be rude or say something and then say sorry. So I have students being like really, really rude, not offensive, just rude, and something that we wouldn't say. And instead of like going like, oh, out and starting a confrontation, then I let them cool down, and then I say, okay, let's stop here for a second. How do you think I feel when you respond like that? Do you think it's good or bad? And they say, oh, it's bad. And I said, okay, why did you respond like that? Are you okay? Oh, I had problems at school, and I had this, and I failed that test. So that's giving us information about why they did it. It doesn't justify it, but they can see that we are listening. And so I say, okay, I understand that you're having a bad day. Please, like, don't do it again, because it affects me. It's not nice, right? You said that I make them make visible that thinking process right there and then. We do everything in English. Everyone is involved. And so it's not time wasted. As teachers of English or any other language, we're also educating them. We're also making sure that they're better people. And we all know that right now in the world, we need people that are more empathetic, that are kinder. Kindness is free, so don't be mean. I tell them that all the time. Kindness is free. Don't be mean. The world is horrible right now. Let's make our classrooms a better place. And this really helps if we take that approach. I know there are some times you may say, oh, that's because you don't know one of my students. I've been there. I tell you, 31 years in the classroom. And I've had my really rough days. But I believe that if we come from a different place of empathy, trying to understand rather than being understood, trying to see what's happening, understanding that physically chemistry is affecting them as well, is very important. Great. And the last one, what's the last icon? With the consequences. We have a list of the things that what's going to happen if you do this, what's going to happen if you don't do this. Agreement, reflect, contract, absolutely. We sign a ceremony. I like having ceremonies. I like people coming to the board and signing, and if possible, then take a picture of the classroom. I don't take pictures of them because remember that, well, in my case, well, most of us working with minors, we cannot take pictures. And if we did, we would need their parents' consent. So I just take a picture of the class, of the whiteboard, right, with their names very clearly, so that and then I share it in our private LMS where I put the homework and what we did in class, so that their parents can also see it. And this obviously it also works with 18 plus. I've done it with 18 plus, 18, 19, when they're. I only introduce it when I see that they need it, that they're not mature enough, right? Remember, the brain doesn't fully develop until around 22 years of age. So 18-year-old students, they're still struggling with, right, with emotions and with managing themselves and learning to interact with us. Very good. Excellent. Thank you so much. Let's turn to our roadmap. And we still have time. Let's look at another contract. Which one? We've tried number 1, number 3, number 5. No, and number 4. So I think is either 3 or 2, right? Or number 4. I think, no, positive and negative behavior. We did it. Number 3, mutual goals. Okay, 3 and 2. Let's do that. We're going to go for number 3. We have enough time. Then we're going to go to number 2. So you decided, the people have spoken. So number 3. What do you think? There are 3 stages for this type of contract. What do you think are the 3 stages? The first one, what's the first stage? What do you think? In the chat box, what do you think is the first stage? Goals. Good. Thank you, Linda. Goals, class common goals, Roxanne, targeted. Mary Joy, brainstorming, said goals, target. Aldemar, Roy, Emilio, Mary Chris, Marvin, Aisha. I apologize if I mispronounce your names, but I really want to say your name because I really appreciate that we're doing this together. Jamot, Ramal, excellent. Ramal, Anastasia, excellent. Yes. So this one is goal brainstorm. Remember, all these contracts take between 20 and 25 minutes. Usually 5, 10, 5. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the core part, and 5 minutes to finish up. Brainstorm, 5 minutes, you initiate a whole class brainstorm around shared goals, such as, for example, creating a supportive space for language practice or respectful listening. So ask the questions, maybe 1 or 2 on the board, and they have to think about, we're brainstorming in their groups, okay? Lazar, thank you, no worries. Thank you for being here. Then after the 5 minutes, we have the second part, which is small group goal setting. So we go from bigger groups to smaller groups. And this is the core part of this type of contracting activity. In small groups, you have students choose 2 or 3 goals for the brainstorm and identify behaviors for each. For example, listening respectfully, or asking questions about new vocabulary, or raising your hand before you speak, or using classroom language. And we monitor, we go around checking because we're monitoring, very important, we know that sometimes they're going to have lots of repetitions. So we can deal with that by saying, that group has that one already, think of something different. That group has that one already, think of something different. So that we don't get 10 examples of the same thing. And the last goal, the last stage, is the class goal agreement. 5 minutes, around 5 minutes together, we narrow down the 3 key goals and behaviors to post on the classroom wall, or whether it is physical or electronic. I usually use it because I don't use the same classroom with all the students, but we have a system where we rotate classrooms. What I tend to use is the learning management system as a classroom wall, just for them to see. And those 5 minutes, then we use their input as the foundation. Again, I'd like to use the whiteboard, whether it is physical or IWB, the interactive whiteboard, to make sure that everything is spelled out very clearly, that everyone agrees. This is super important because all throughout these contracts, who is making 90% of the decisions? In the chat box, who's making 90% of the decisions throughout all the contracts? In the chat box, who's making the decisions? Absolutely, yes. Thank you so much, everyone. The students are making most of the decisions. And this is super important because when they step out of line, when they cross a line, when they breach a contract, then we have all the authority for us to say, you agreed. This is yours. It's not me. And it really works. Okay, let me see. Just 1 second. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Checking. Good. Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. And so those 5 minutes are super important. Again, we have a quick ceremony, follow-up strategies. So goal revisit discussions. Dedicate 5 minutes every now and then, whenever you see that they're getting rowdier, to discuss how class is meeting these goals and make adjustments. They may forget. They're forgetful naturally. The way the brain is developing in them shows that they're likely to forget things. So we just remind them, right? I think we need to be a little bit more tolerant and less irritable of these things. And I think that for me, the key was understanding the brain is not their fault. I'm going to stop thinking that they are the problem. I'm going to start thinking about how I can come and understand them. I'm going to use this information to inform me. Observation for the group, absolutely, Lazar. Absolutely. Yeah, group ownership, observation of the group, fantastic. Thank you so much. And also you could have gold badges or stars. I know that some people say, oh, I don't like competition because, whenever there's winners, there are losers. And I totally agree. But it could be something. You can play it by ear. Some groups, it will work with some groups. It may not work with other groups. And the stars or the badges can be a weekly thing, just to acknowledge their good behavior, right? Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Maria Elena. Thank you. Now, let's turn back, and it seems like we have enough time to then cover our next, let me see. That was number 3. Where is it? That's mutual goals, class goal agreement. Okay, let me go back to the roadmap. And I think the only one is number 2 then. We managed to cover all of them. That's fantastic. And thank you so much for your participation, because otherwise it would be very boring just listening to me. Now, the personal pledge. Before we move on, quick check. In the chat box, tell me, how long do these contracts, how much time do you need for any of these contracts, and what's the division of time in most of them in the chat box? So how much time in total first? How much time in total is, in my experience, is what you need for these for each of these contracts? Okay, Natalia, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, 1 lesson. Okay, well, it depends, Afet, how long the lesson is. Aisha, Jamot, yes, good. Pavis, Mary, Jennifer, Anastasia, yes. Royd, Emilio, Ala, thank you. J-Rold, Ms. Linda, Aldemar, Vivian. Okay, good. So you need between 20 and 25 minutes for each contract. That's pretty much what I've calculated through the years when I did deal with different, maybe a little bit longer, depending on the size of the group, depending on how excited the students are, but roughly 20 to 25 minutes. And how many stages are there in each contract? In the chat box. Is it 2? Is it 4? Is it 3? People were listening. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. 3. All of them have 3 main stages between 5, 10, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, depending. So that's up to you. It's not black and white, because we all know that students are the factor that we can never fully capture and that we need to take into account when doing things like this. Fantastic. You are awesome. Thank you so much. So let's look at number 2, the personal pledge. This is one of my favorite ones. So in the chat box, 3 stages. What do you think are the 3 stages? The first one. What's the first one? Looking at that icon. Let's see. Ooh, everyone got it. Very good. Yes. Excellent. Self-evaluation, reflection is not linear. That's great. Reflection, fantastic. Thank you so much. Yes, individual reflection. So 5 minutes, around 5 minutes. Start with students reflecting on their personal learning goals and behaviors that could help them achieve their main goals, like learning English, pass that exam, learn specific vocabulary. Provide prompts like, one thing you want to work on in class is, I want to speak more. I want to, I don't know, I want to learn more verse. I want to stop interrupting. We can remember that although we're not imposing the rules, we can facilitating when we're walking around, we're telling them. We know the ones we want them to think about. If they don't say them, we can say it, right? I have one very, very, very talkative 12-year-old boy, and with him, when we were doing this, nobody said talk less. So I said, for example, what would you like to do? And I was really pleasantly, happily surprised that he said, maybe I should talk less. And it was fantastic, because that means that it works. They're thinking. Maria Elena, absolutely. We must be facilitators. Absolutely. Yes. Have a mutual learning. Aisha, thank you. Yes. Then what's the second stage? This one over here. What do you think is my second stage here? Mix ideas. Roy, Remelin, Roxanne, Haley, Dr. Julie, Aisha, Mary Chris, Noor Adila, thank you. Yes, share and shape. Now, about 10 minutes, have students share their pledges with a partner or small group. Now, something I'm super aware of, I've become super aware of, is that we know teenagers don't like to speak in open class very often because they feel judged. So when I start a class, the first month or 2 months of classes, I only have them work in small pairs or small groups, never in open class, because I want to work really hard on developing those relationships between them in pairs, then smaller groups, then half and half the class before I actually ask them to speak out in open class. And they do. At that stage, they're ready because they're not that much afraid of judgment, because I've built their own relationships with their peers, right? So this is really, really important. And then Lazar, shareness enables the teacher to check. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Absolutely. And then in small group, helping each other shape their pledges to be clear and achievable, because obviously they're going to say sometimes things that you go like, okay, that's impossible to achieve. So let's make it more realistic. But the idea is that in English, they're thinking about this. And the final one, what is it, the last one? Building up the results, display, design personal pledges, peer support, signing, Takmina, thank you. Peer share, signing, Natalia, Aira, Jamot, excellent. Commitment, absolutely. The pledge wall. For this one, I really like to use post-it notes, bigger ones like these ones, where they write their drafts in their notebook, and then they write as nicely and polished their final pledge here with their name, and then we put them up on the wall or on the board as well. It doesn't matter. And then I take a picture of that so that they are, they're all there. That's right, Isra. Yes, I absolutely agree. Absolutely, I agree. And you can do it online as well. Okay? Follow-up strategies, very, very important. Dedicate 2 or 3 minutes at the beginning of each lesson, or maybe every other lesson or every week, for students to reflect on their pledges and discuss progress in pairs. The way I do it, because remember I said I use it on an LMS, is to start my lesson with the picture full blown on the projector, on the screen. And then 2-3 minutes as they start arriving, okay, in pairs or in small groups, think about that. Where are we? Are we doing all of this? Are we not? Do we need to do anything? If we're doing everything, it's like absolutely fantastic. It's a reminder. If they're not, it's a good reminder that where we need to be. Okay, so with that, I think we've covered all 5. So let me see. Let's just go through them quickly. We covered the 3 R's. We covered the personal pledge, which was number 2. Mutual goals, number 3. Number 4, we also covered that one. And we covered the reflect and review. So now, before we move on, any questions or comments very quickly in the chat box? We'll address the questions later, but if you have them, you can put them there. We're almost there, 5 minutes, great. Now, this is the AI part. I created a classroom whisperer. I'm a teacher trainer and teacher educator. I teach myself, and I have my own classes. And when observing teachers, they said, oh, it would be great if, I could have some I know they asked, is there any AI I can use? And I was like, well, I haven't seen any apps, but I can create one. This classroom whisperer, I'm going to share the link in the chat box. It's free. We don't sell anything. It's free. And you can ask questions. For example, my students are very noisy, or my students always come late, or I have someone who is, talks back. What can I do? So this is something that can help you. Remember, AI doesn't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. And all the answers, we need to have human oversight. We need to check the output. And then take what is good, take what is realistic, and use that, okay? Robert on YouTube, Maria Elena Castillo, thank you so much. So remember, AI is there to help us, but AI supports teachers, but only we teachers inspire learning. That's my motto. AI supports learning, but only we teachers inspire learning. And that's such a privilege that we can do that. So here, the link is in the chat box. You also have the QR code there if you want to check it out. I'm going to share with you in a second, because I think we're about to finish. I'm going to share with you. I want to think about it. Don't discuss with your partner, but think about which contract type may work best in your context. Why or why not? It's just to give you a little bit of reflection, okay, on this. And I want to leave you with some food for thought. Are classroom contracts a valid tool? Do you think this would be a valid tool? What do we need to bear in mind for them to work? In my takeaways, think about your takeaways and finish the sentence, but I'm going to share mine with you, okay? What I'm taking away from this session, think about it for a second. I'll share the link in a second, Aisha. We're about to finish. My own takeaways. Better results when I have first had my top 5 ingredients in place. Remember the ones that we talked about? Also, contracts without reinforcement are a waste of time. Remember to recycle them. Contract reviews, so weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or when necessary, bear fruit. That's the key. Students need to be the leading agents to get buy-in and be able to enforce rules agreed by all, okay? And choose one contract type and stick to it with your group for the whole year or a few months. If it doesn't work, then you can change. My acronym for you, RESPECT. I tell them respect must be the base of everything. Make sure that there's relevant content, that we establish rapport and ground rules first. Share learning outcomes with your students. Practice what we preach. Be nice, be kind. Kindness is free. Engage them and give them agency. Create a place where failing is okay. And talk things out. Just ask them, like, let's talk about this. It's not okay when you say those things or when you respond like that. Remember, classroom harmony isn't signed on paper. It is built every day through empathy, awareness, relationships, good pedagogy, and informed choices. You can, here it is, I'm going to share now the link to the handout that I prepared for you. You can get the handout with all the links, all the information from there. This is an AI transparency statement. AI tools were used in the preparation of this session handout to support brainstorming, ideation, tweaking, and refinement in an iterative process. All final content was reviewed, adapted, and approved by the session facilitator, me, to ensure accuracy, relevance, and alignment with the learning outcomes. Okay? So very, very important. Han, are we now to jump onto the Q&A? If we
Yes,
are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
I just want to finish with showing the credits because it's important that as teachers we give credit. All the icons come from the Noun project, and all the pictures you saw, I made them with Microsoft Bing Image Creator with ChatGPT. Here is the credits, the references for the videos and the tools that I use. And I just want to say thank you. And you already know my YouTube channel. So I hope that you like it and subscribe. Let me stop sharing so that we can then address any questions that anyone may have.
Participants, you can feel free to drop in the questions in the chat box or in the Q&A session.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your kind words and for your participation, because otherwise it's really boring if I'm just like blah, 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 talking. With your participation, I also get to learn about you, your context, your ideas. So this is learning together with Robert, literally. Thanks to Pro Ed Solutions and EduVerse for this opportunity that has brought us together today to be able to learn from one another. Are there any questions?
I saw there's one question in the chat box, Robert. Yeah. As an educator, what one effective strategy we should implement to resolve conflicts, particularly bullying inside of a classroom?
Oh, very good question. In my experience, I'm part of the DEI group, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And whenever I see that, because we know that I have a disability, and when I was growing up, kids my age, they would be nasty. And now I understand that kids are nasty not because they want to be nasty, but because they still don't know that that's not okay. So it's very important, in my opinion, whenever I see any cases, someone laughing at someone, or maybe 2 or 3 people laughing at someone, I do something that is called group therapy. I stop it. I call it out in a nice way. Everyone close your books. Everyone, I want your attention, close your books. Okay, what's going on? I see you. I seem to understand, because maybe I'm wrong. It looks like you're laughing at so-and-so. Why is that? No, we're not. I said, okay, no. I understand that we all laugh together or nobody laughs. And I always use my disability as an example. And I say, how do you feel? How would you feel if I laugh at you because your English is not good? Because your English is not good. We're all here to learn. My Spanish is not perfect. My Basque is not perfect. So how do you think I would feel if you laugh when I say something incorrect in Spanish? So let's not do that, okay? How do you think she feels or he feels? And I force them to say, I don't move on until they say it. Because this is important, always with a smile on my face. How do you feel? How do you think they feel? So let's not do this, please, okay? We're here to learn together and respect one another. I don't want to see any of this. So if they see that we are the first guardians of respect and inclusivity in the classroom, at least in the classroom, they're not going to do it. And if they do it again, then I do the same thing. And I say, okay, everyone, close your books. We're going to do group therapy again. What's going on here? If I see that there's a pattern, then, because we need 3 episodes, 3 events. In psychology, you need 3 episodes for that to be a pattern. If I see a pattern, then I take a different approach. I talk to that student outside class. I say, please stay behind class for 1 second. Okay, we've looked at this 3 times in class. What is going on? I'm telling you that I'm going to talk to you and your parents. So I'm being transparent. I'm not going to call their parents behind their backs. I'm telling them, I want to discuss this with you and your parents. And then I call the parents, we have a meeting together, and we say, this is the situation. We've addressed it 3 times in class. So parents see that there's a pattern and I have evidence, and that the reason why we're now talking is because it's the 4th time. And 99% of the time, parents have been on board on those rare occasions. Okay, so that's pretty much how I would do it. Also outside my classroom, for example, on Monday, I saw a group of very small kids. They were 6, 7-year-olds. 3 older ones, 8, 9-year-olds from another class, were picking on a 6-year-old kid and laughing at him and pushing him and ha, 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 ha. And I saw that and I stepped out of my classroom and I said, boys, what is happening? And then I switched to Spanish because I know that they wouldn't understand my English if I told them in English. And I said, what are you doing? He's younger than you are. You are 3, he is 1. This is not correct. How would you feel if I was the one doing the same thing to you? And they were trying to go away. And I said, don't go away. Stay there because you need to speak. We need to speak about this. In a nice way, obviously. I said, making them think, how do you think this little boy feels? Is this good? Is this okay? If you do it again, we're going to have a conversation with your parents. You can go now to your classroom with a big smile. That's how I would do it. Okay. I hope I answered that question. Maria Elena Castillo, thank you. Any other questions?
I see no other questions in the Q&A
Okay.
section. I guess that would be it for tonight. So let me just reshare my slide.
Just so Seboniso very quickly asked the question, how can the classroom contract be designed for university students? I was a lecturer for many years, and I had classes of 150, 160 students, and it was very challenging. You can use the contract, make it a little bit more adult, because they're in a better position to understand what the rules are. For me, it is now a matter of, at university level and with adults, it's a matter of managing expectations very clearly. Make a 1 or 2 or 3 minute video. This is what you must do. Put it in a PDF so that they have it in video, in writing, in the LMS. They have a copy, send it via email, and they cannot say they didn't know. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again for your presentation, Robert Martínez. I think that people have learned quite a lot from your session. And thank you, participants, for joining us today. I hope that you have gained valuable insights and practical ideas from Robert's presentation to bring harmony, empathy, and AI into your teen classroom. Before we say goodbye, please help us enhance your experience to take a survey with a moment to complete the post-webinar survey, which will pop up after you leave this webinar. Again, after you leave this webinar, a post-webinar will pop up the survey for you. The download instruction for your certificate will be sent to all webinar participants within 1 day after you finish the survey. Let's look ahead to our next exciting webinar, guys, which is about fostering global citizenship in today's classroom. Set a reminder for Friday, the 6th of February, 2026. At the same time, 8:30 p.m. Vietnam time, we'll be diving into this topic with Dr. Nolana Imanova, a teacher trainer from Azerbaijan, on a very special topic. Stay tuned for detailed information and registration updates in our EduVerse platform and media in our newsletter. And don't forget to join us on our media channels, which is Facebook, LinkedIn, and also on Instagram for more updates and practical teaching ideas. Before you go, don't forget to download the EduVerse Newsletter 24, our special edition.
It's excellent. I can guarantee I've read it, and I had to go back and read again because it's so good. So don't forget to read.
Don't forget,
There's
please.
lots of gold nuggets in there.
That's right. So the edition themes sustainable education, growing tomorrow's teaching for sustainable futures, packed with fresh insights and practical ideas for your classroom. We're also excited to announce our special New Year edition, issue 25, focusing on the first 25 years of education in the 21st century, which will be released next month, January 2026. Please find all of the information at our website, proed.com.vn/eduverse. Totally free again. Finally, we truly appreciate your active participation and look forward to reconnecting with you at our next event. Keep that flame of learning alive, and until we meet again, take care and stay curious. Thank you and have a fantastic weekend. Thank you, Robert, again. Wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Hans, so much. And Lei, thank you so much. And EduVerse. Follow us online. Bye.